And welcome into Ken Nickel Recreation Center, Beaumont, where it is the hometown Beaumont Outlaws looking to stave off elimination in this quick best-of-3 first round North semifinal. The Warriors taking game 1, 15-6. We'll see if Beaumont can survive here on a Saturday evening. I'm Mohammed Joma alongside Eric Kraus with you here as we look to see who's going to advance to take on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels in the final of the North Division. The Warriors will be wearing their road whites. They'll be traveling from right to left on your screen, while the Outlaws will be wearing their home blues. And these threads look pretty damn fine, if you ask me. One of the better home jerseys, at least in the league. And Andrews is going to pick the ball up off the draw, and the Warriors are going to start out with it. You know, they want to get this done as quick as possible as they look to move on and play a team they're very familiar with in the Rebels, once again for their third year in a row in the North Final. Ball goes over to the right side. Dickin, no-look pass into the corner. Royer out in front. Royer, that's stopped by McLeod, who got a shoulder on it. And the Outlaws are going to travel back up the floor. Weatherby comes across center. Weatherby looked, tried to hit Maloney on the crease. That was at his feet. The ball goes loose, and it's picked up by Grace. Grace gets it over to Tompkins. Ball swings to Maloney. Back to Tompkins. Tompkins in, and that's a good stop by Pinch. Same two starters as game number 1, Pinch and McLeod. As the Warriors bring the ball up floor. Ball in the stick of Fodchuk, who can rip the pill. Ball now over to Dewart, leading scorer for the Warriors this season. 5 points per game, just over that, and that shot goes up off the floor and out of play. It'll be outlaw ball. As the ball gets brought up by Rogalski. Ball into the stick on the right side, and a quick stick by Hobday as Schaff gunned that over to him. Ball goes wide and is picked up by Harris. Harris stops up and is going to look to hand off. Here's Carey. Carey right to the net. Outlaws bad change, and good stop there by McLeod. We talked about that on the podcast leading into this series. It's something the Outlaws definitely need to do or focus on, is getting on and off the floor quickly. Definitely can't allow those types of transition looks to go the Warriors' way. Hobday is going to roll off a check. Hobday to the top of the floor. Hobday inside. Hildebrand thought about shooting. Comes back out with it. He gets it to Tompkins. Tompkins, long outside shot into the stick of Pinch. It's the Outlaws with the first couple of shots of this game as the ball gets brought up by Flett. Flett gets it to Redlick, who gets it to Dewart. Ball down low with Dickin off the half wall. Dickin looks and gets the ball nicely up to Royer. Fodchuk skips into a check. He rolls, or he kind of backed into his defender and fell down. And the Outlaws are going to go with it. Here's Polson. Nice rookie season for him, for the Outlaws. And he gets it to Schaff. Schaff to the net. That's a stop. The Outlaws getting a few opportunities here early in this game. Schaff is going to go across crease to Maloney, who quick sticked it at the feet of Pinch, who shuts it off. We've played about 3:15 of this game number 2 here in Ken Nickel, where the Warriors and the Outlaws go at it. The Warriors once again leading this best of 3, 1-0. Rex Wolney is going to take it into the zone. Now he's got Dewart wide open off the bench. Didn't see him and tried to throw it to him way too late. And here go the Outlaws. So the Warriors a couple of times with looks in transition. First time Carey was stopped. This time the ball didn't get to Dewart. The Outlaws survived that. Now out in front, and Hildebrand had that pass jam him up a little bit. Flett up floor to Fair, who works his way into the zone. Fair Threw that behind Royer, but it's picked up by Dewart. Royer swings it to Dickin. Dickin pump fakes. Dickin pulls the trigger. 5-hole stop by McLeod. I want to remind you to get your 50-50 tickets. Draw will take place following the playoffs on Monday, July 29th. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. And explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place for family fun meets opportunity. Visit their downtown parks in River Valley. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Muir is going to shoot that wide. As I looked up, for some reason, saw the 1-8 and thought it was Royer. That's 1-9. And that is going to get swatted at and picked up by Flett. And Cameron is going to grab the loose ball. He works his way through traffic. Cameron dishes it to Dewart. Sub shot there on the crease. Stopped by McLeod. Rebound comes back out. And Cameron is going to pick that up. Flett to Dickin. Dickin up high. Comes down the near wall. And he's going to survey Dickin. Swings it into the stick of Fodchuk. Fodchuk rolls down. Steps into one and up high, stopped by McLeod. It'll be Warrior possession. With a fresh 30, Vimy Ridge Academy at Vimy Lacrosse Excellence is the standard, dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Visit vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. So that's going to turn over, and Weatherby's going to transition out. 14:20 to go, first period. We remain scoreless here in what's been a pretty good start for the Outlaws. Hildebrand, deep out in front of the net. He got knocked down into the crease. They're going to call for a wipe of the floor. So we'll pause and we'll remind you about the McDonald Cup, the Chaos, the Junior Lacrosse Club and its franchise, the Southern Alberta Chaos, are excited to announce they'll be hosting the McDonald Cup this year. The 2024 event will be hosted in the Centennial Regional Arena in Brooks from August 7th to 11th. The Poco Saints of BC successfully hosted the 2023 tournament where the Cranbrook Black Wolves became the first champions of the Reed Price and McDonald Cup since 1995. The 8-team event was highly enjoyed by athletes, volunteers, and everyone involved. Please join us this August. For more information, visit themcdonaldcup.ca. So a little bit of an update on playoff-wise. Earlier today, it was the Mountain View Mavericks coming out on top at Brent Road Arena over the Chill in what was a pretty controversial game. The Mavericks survive, they advance, and they'll punch their ticket into the Larry Bishop as the Central representative. The host, Silvertips, will meet them in the Central Final. Both of those teams already in. And down south right now, it's the Mountaineers leading the Marauders about halfway through that one, 4-2, as they try to complete the quick 2-0 sweep. As Osman lost it, but Tompkins is going to race out over center on the loose ball and shoots that at the feet. And 5-hole of pinch. That's stopped, and here come the Warriors. And for anyone unaware, it's been extremely hot in the Edmonton area, and this arena in particular is a sauna. And we'll see what team, if anybody, if that affects more than the other, as the ball goes into the corner. Rogalski gets that up to Weatherby. Wide open, Maloney tried to drop it off to Grace. A little bit of a tough pass there. Now off the right side, Walker gets stopped. Walker, a player that came in over at the mid-season mark from the Crude in the Preston Stewart trade, as the ball goes loose. And it's given to Pickering, another former member of the Crude. A lot of former Crude players in this game. Of course, you got the 3 or 4 on the Warriors, and you got Walker for the Outlaws. All spending time and starting the year with the Crude. and beyond that for in many, in cases of Fodchuk and Harris and Knowlton. As the 30-second shot clock goes back over, it'll be outlaw ball. Schaff swings it into the stick of Grace. Grace is going to look. Grace, a little bit of a swim. Circles back. He swings it into the stick of Tompkins. Back to Grace. Grace is going to wind and fire. Stop there by Pinch. Here come the Warriors. Flett runs it up. Caden Flett. Big piece of the transition game. Gets it to Fodchuk. Fodchuk, a little bit of a roll and gets to the net. Stopped there by McLeod. Ball moved up to Dickin. Dickin drags it, shoots it, misses the net on the far side. Fodchuk, loose ball. Fodchuk winds and rips it into the short side. As I was talking about earlier, the kid can absolutely rip the ball. He goes short side on McLeod. It's 1-0, 8.5 in. So Fodchuk gets us started here scoring-wise as Harris brings the ball in behind the net. And he gets it to Fodchuk, who swings it to Pickering. Pickering winds and fires, and that's stopped by McLeod. Well, both goaltenders been pretty sharp here early on as we approach the halfway mark of the first period. Fodchuk with a little BTB fake gets it up to Dickin. Dickin loves to shoot from up here. He does that. That's a good stop on the far side this time by McLeod. As the ball is in the stick of Fodchuk, a no-look shot out of the corner at the feet of McLeod. Stopped, and Fodchuk is going to get the reset here. But that pass was a little rough, and that's going to be over and back, and the Outlaws are going to have to come back, or the Warriors are going to have to come back on defense. Schaff looks, gets it to Maloney. Left side, Maloney pulls it to the short side, stopped by Pinch. Here's Grace up top. Tried to get that to Schaff. He's going to have to go recollect. He's chased pretty wildly out here by Andrews, and he forces the turnover into the stick of Flett. Flett hits Warrior out front, and little pick and roll works out there for the Warriors. 2-0. So Andrews starts that off by forcing the turnover out near center. The ball floats into the stick of Flett, who does a good job of not rushing into anything, waited for Royer to join him. They ran a little pick and roll, and Royer does what he does best, finishes inside, and it's a Warrior 2-goal lead. And the ball flips up off of the face-off, and Pickering is going to grab that. Pickering has been pretty solid here for the Warriors, doing a little bit of everything, playing defense. He's actually played a few shifts of offense here early in this game, and you saw him out on the draw as well. Fodchuk, stutter step, engages his defender. Dewart in the middle. That shot low and misses. And a hard check there in the near corner. And it looked like it was potentially Cook. Kind of blocked out by the railing here. As out of the corner, Weatherby, and he jumped out in front of the net. Good stop there by Pinch. The Warriors had that ball bounce away from them. I think they're going to say through the crease, blow it dead, and it's going to be Warrior ball. Anybody at home is unaware of that rule. If you're the offensive player, you cannot run through the crease and be the first to touch the ball. It has to be somebody else on your team that goes and grabs the loose ball. And Weatherby was the first to make contact, so they blew it dead. We have a media timeout at 9:23 of the first. The score, the Warriors 2, the Outlaws nothing. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified each and every time a game goes live. Once again, this is game number 2 of the best of 3 North Division semifinal, with the Warriors leading a 1-0 in the series and 2-0 in the game. So we'll start off with Fodchuk sending up floor to Carey. Carey to Dewart. Dewart tried to gun that down to the far crease. Fodchuk was posted up there. The ball evaded him. And Cook and Polson are going to fight for it here. And they knock around Fodchuk and Carey. Big size mismatch there. And now, though, the Warriors keep it loose. And I think they're going to draw an 8-second call. Here's Knowlton. Right side. He got kind of bothered there, and the ball went loose into the corner. Knowlton is slow to get up. He's hobbling off the floor at the moment. Something the Warriors' right side can't really afford to have happen, as they're kind of shallow over there numbers-wise. And here comes Flett. Flett to Fodchuk. Fodchuk, Warrior offense. There's only 3 guys on the floor, now 4, now 5. As Dewart gets the ball to Dickin. The shot clock already down to 8. Dickin fires that to the short side, and that was an absolute beam down by the knee of McLeod, and the Warriors add another to make it 3-0. Little bit of a deception on that, as there was no real windup by Dickin. He was able to kind of bring the ball back up and then fire it down by Dickin, or by McLeod's leg. Sort of in one motion, and the Warriors are going to win this draw. City of Fort Saskatchewan. Explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit Work and Play in Fort Saskatchewan. And Vimy Ridge Academy, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. Pick it back up here with 7:15 to go first period. The Warriors out to another early lead here. Redlick transitions to Dewart. Dewart out in front. Good save there by McLeod as he ducked down and got his arm on that one. Pinch with the loose ball here. Not too often you see a goaltender wearing the number 11, but that is the digits that Pinch sports, and now there's some sort of delayed. Well, I thought they were calling a penalty. They're just calling possession here for the ball hitting the roof, I think. As the Outlaws come back down, Walker into the stick of Maloney. That ball was a little low, and now here's Rex Wolney on a breakaway. He's chased by 3 Outlaws. Wolney in, and that's a stop low by McLeod. So Wolney just gunned that down towards the floor on a high to low shot, as Hobday comes back in to the Warrior zone. Tompkins pulls that on net, and Pinch fights that off. Ball back up high with Tompkins, who gets it to Schaff. And that's another pick here, or almost picked there by Wolney. And he's going to go in again. Rex Wolney, this time, he has the ball knocked away. Good trail check there by Hobday, who's come back into the lineup, and he's been a nice addition for the Outlaws in his 5th year. Has made a left pretty balanced left side now with Maloney and Grace. You got Connor Turner over there as well, as you see him out on the floor. And now, again, the Warriors are going to go. Flett looks tired here, but he's going to make the net. Flett, that hit pipe, I think. Ball is goes and bounces back out to center, where Fair grabs it and gets it to Dickin. Already down to just 5 minutes here in the first period. Warriors leading 3-0. Fodchuk and Dickin up high. Exchange passes. Dickin tried to hit a rolling Dewart. Ball goes loose. Royer is going to avoid the over and back. Shot clock winding down. He kind of forced a pass into the middle of the floor. The 30-second shot clock goes, and it'll be outlaw ball. Grace. Up high, swings it to Hildebrand. Hildebrand with those baby blue shoes is going to just kind of flip it into the middle. Got knocked down by the Warriors defenders, and now here goes Redlick. Redlick is going to pull it out nicely here and wait for help. Dickin absorbs some contact. Here's Dewart. Shot by Fodchuk. He almost got that through McLeod. It went out the other side, though. And now the Outlaws are going to be pressed, and Luke Royer actually turned it over. Royer has it in behind the net. Luke comes around the net with it. Dickin in front. Tried to hit Royer. Ball goes into the corner where it's picked up by Poulsen. And here go the Outlaws. It's Ellis. Ellis with it, galloping into the offensive zone. He's hit there by Andrews, who forces him out high. Andrews hitting Ellis. And now Grace over to Walker. Walker to Hobdate, who circles back with not much help, and the Outlaws, the late change here. 4 guys on the floor. Grace shoots that off of his back foot. And they ask for a wipe, and it's going to be Warrior ball here with 3:10 to go in the first period. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. As we're right in the middle of the playoffs, we'll have the rest of the semifinals in each division, the North Finals, of course, the South Finals, the Silvertip home games, or in the Central Final, and then, of course, the Larry Bishop Provincial Tournament, where an Alberta champion will be crowned and sent off to Hamilton for the Nationals Founders Cup in mid-August. Trying to get another update for you. Once again, it was the Mavericks knocking off the Chill earlier today by a score of 8-7. They pulled that out late. They win the series 2-0 and will be in the Larry Bishop Memorial along with the Silvertips as they host. And in the South, the Marauders and the Mountaineers. Last check, it was 4-2 for the Mountaineers. Trying to get this to refresh for me. Looks like it still is 4-2, perhaps at the end of the second period for the Mountaineers as they look to close that out and advance to play the Shamrocks in the South Final. Dewart had that go over his head. It's going to be over and back, and he's going to smartly get back here. 3-on-1 for the Outlaws. And that's a bad pass, because the Outlaws had a lot of time there. They tried to get it to Cook. And here come the Warriors. Those are the types of opportunities you just cannot, as the underdog, cannot let go by. We'll see if the Outlaws, who really need the next one and this one, can get on the board here late in the first. Dewart winds, fires, and McLeod shuts it off. Couple of strong saves by McLeod here in the last few minutes to keep this one at 3. Here is Rogalski. Deep into the near corner. Gets it up high. Ball tossed over to Maloney. Maloney to Grace. Grace to Tompkins. Tompkins is going to look. And he's going to wind and fire. Stop by pinch. The Outlaws right now kind of getting late in the shot clock and having to shoot kind of off balance from up 4. And now Fodchuk sifts that one into the far side about hip high to make it 4-0. Good patience there by Fodchuk. Kind of looked off McLeod. It almost looked like he might take another couple of steps, and then in sort of one motion, just tossed it over to the far side before McLeod was really set. And it's a 4-goal lead now for the Warriors. Seen that a lot off draws, too. The ball getting kind of knocked up in the air right into a Warriors stick. They're doing a good job of knocking it back. Here's Dickin with 1:20 to go in the first period. Graham Dickin, right side. Gets it to Stewart. A little bit of a back pedal shot. It's outlaw ball. With a minute to go here in the opening frame. Hildebrand to Grace. This is a big possession here for the Outlaws. Try to gain some momentum before the break. Grace. Schaff in the middle, and Hildebrand got knocked down in front of the net. Long outside shot by Hobday, trying to get the reset. Ball's batted around. The Warriors didn't pick it up, though. I don't know if they thought that didn't hit the net. It was almost like they were just trying to keep the ball alive and let the shot clock expire. So the Outlaws will gain another possession here with 30 seconds to go. Tompkins down to Schaff. Hobday was parked out in front of the net, but the ball didn't get to him. And here goes Cameron. 15 seconds to go, first period. Here's Fodchuk hard off the bench. Fodchuk to the net and little twister sent on net as he got sent to the floor. And here are the Outlaws. 3 seconds. 2 seconds on the clock. They're going to run out of time here, as that's going to do it for the first period of play. With the score, the Edmonton Warriors 4, the Beaumont Outlaws 0. Want to thank you for joining us here. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live on CROW LAX TV. Hit the thumbs up. Give us some feedback. Interact. Do all of that. And we'll see you here in just under 10 minutes for second period of action. And welcome back to the Ken Nickel Recreation Center. It's game number 2 of the North semifinal, where the Warriors are leading the Beaumont Outlaws 4-0 here on the road. Warriors leading the best of 3, a 1-0. They can close it out and book their ticket to the North Final, where they will take on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. As Pickering is going to circle back and then get that to Menon. Zane Menon is going to get this to Redlick. And Redlick is going to wait up for reinforcements. Here's Dewart. Josh Dewart into the offensive zone. Rifles that. It almost went 5-hole. Pops out into the corner. Dickin grabs that. Dickin to Fodchuk, who already has a couple in this one. Gets it to Luke Royer. Royer has the pick set there by Fodchuk. He steps around and shoots that. And he sends Ellis into the boards. Ellis with a hard hack there. Ellis chases Redlick, and now the ball goes loose, and it's going to be outlaw possession. Good job by Polson to run out over center. He's pounded there by Redlick. Polson goes around and gets to Hildebrand. Shots after the first period. It was the Warriors holding a 21-14 advantage. Brace sends that one in on net. Hobday goes and grabs that loose ball. The Outlaws want to get back into this one. It has to start now. They have to go on a 2 or 3 goal run, I would say, in the first, say, half of the period. So now it looks like they're going to call for a mop of the floor. So while we have a little bit of time here, I want to give you a little bit of an out-of-town update. The Mountaineers, with about, last check, 9 minutes to go in the third period, holding a 6-4 advantage over the Marauders as they try to close that series out, currently leading 1-0. So we'll see if the Mountaineers are able to hold on in side of Acadia Rec. Score hasn't updated for a while, so we'll assume it's still 6-4 down south. As we look like we're almost ready to go here. Now the refs are dancing around in the crease here a little bit, trying to rub some of the sweat out of the ground. Thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. As Fodchuk is going to roll off a check, sent it over to Dewart in the far corner. Dewart, and that hit post. The ball is going to bounce back down into the Warrior zone. They'll get a fresh 30. Here's Dewart. Up across the top, and now is into the midsection of McLeod. Dewart's going to grab the rebound, though. Josh Dewart to Fodchuk. That got on him a little quickly. I think it might have hit the floor. I was blocked out by a few things. Couldn't really tell, but the ball's going to go back over and it'll be outlaw ball. Here's Schaff. Schaff on the near side here. Comes back up high with it to Hobday. Maloney. Maloney engages a check. That's Rex Wolney. Shaft gets bumped back. And now Pinch has a breakaway if he wants it. And he's going to hit Muir, who's breaking up the floor. Muir, and he buries it. Low, far side on McLeod. And that's a great pass by Pinch. Up floor to look and hit Muir in stride. It's 5-0. That's 2 games in a row now that Pinch is assisted on a goal. He hit Fodchuk in game 1 as well out of the gate. This time, Muir was able to break up the floor off of the D and able to capitalize to get the first marker of the second period and extend the Warriors' lead out to 5. And the ball is going to pop up and go into the near boards. And it's going to be grabbed by Pickering, who turns and heads up floor, where he's chased down by Polson. The ball gets over to Josh Stewart. Stewart into the middle. Redlick tried a little bit of awkward behind the back. And the ball just kind of rolled into the crease of McLeod. Here are the Outlaws now. And again, they got to go on a run now before maybe some demoralization starts to set in. Hildebrand, that was pulled to the short side, wide off the boards and hitting the ceiling. Vimy Ridge Academy. I want to thank them at Vimy Lacrosse. Excellence is the standard, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. And explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. And out in front, Royer tried to tuck that low. And McLeod did a good job of shutting the bottom part of the net off. 15:58 to go here, second period. The Warriors holding a sound 5-0 lead. As Brett Murray now with it on the far side. Murray bothered there. He got it to Maloney, who then in turn got it to Schaff as Tompkins got knocked down off the ball. He's slow to get up. And Maloney wastes one into the corner. And it'll be Warrior ball with the shot clock expiring. Here's Stewart. Royer. That's a good save up high by the shoulder of McLeod. Didn't make its way out and rebounded back into the crease. So that's going to maintain Outlaw possession, but the ball is going to turn over. Well, no, Osman's going to grab it. For some reason, the Warriors didn't run and grab that. They were back, and the ball kind of rolled back over in their direction. Walker shoots that. And that's stopped by Pinch. Ball is circled up by Grace. Grace. That shot soaked by a body. And here come the Warriors. Redlick is tangled up, but somehow got through it and hits Fodchuk off the bench. Fodchuk steps back and just missed. Here's the ball bouncing back over center, where it's picked up by Menon. They'll say, yeah, that's the right call. It's back over, so it'll be Outlaw ball. Ball in the stick of Tompkins. Tompkins up across the top. And there's a goal for the Outlaws. Hobday goes low on Pinch to make it 5-1. And down south, it looks like the Mountaineers are going to close out the Marauders in 2 games. They now lead 7-4 with less than a minute to go. So barring a true miracle, it will be the Mountaineers who take on the Shamrocks for the South Division crown and the right to go to the Larry Bishop Memorial in Rocky View in a couple of weeks here. Dickon winds. That riser goes well over the net. Dickon tried to fit that into the middle of the floor where it's picked up by Rogalski. Rogalski races in. He hits Weatherby. Weatherby and Pinch able to stop that. Weatherby looked like he needed to go a little bit further to the far side. It kind of, ball didn't really quite get there. Hit Pinch in the chest. Here's Redlick. And that would have been a true momentum changer if the Outlaws could have narrowed it to 3 that quickly off of a nice transition look. Muir gets hit by Cook. Dewart. And Dewart tucks that. But referee Kevin Coat's going to say he stepped inside the crease. So that's going to be waved off. And that's going to mean Outlaw possession here with 13 minutes to go. And the score will remain 5-1. Turner hands it off as he got hit. Warriors, maybe he could have got that loose ball. Decide not to go for it. Turner to Tompkins. He was kind of nearby on the crease. A little bit of a jam up pass. And here's Flett. Flett's going to be able to go to the net here. Flett in. And that's a nice stop by McLeod. Flett with a few breakaways in this game. Unable to get one so far. Lots of looks for the Warriors in transition. And here come the Outlaws. That's off the stick of Grace. Bad pass, but it comes right back to him. Hildebrand in front of the net. And that's shut off on the short side by Pinch. Here is Harris. Harris behind the back to Dickon. Harris, of course, the younger brother of Callan Harris, who starred for the Junior A minors for a few years. If you're talking about slick mitts, I don't know if there's very many guys with better hands than that guy. And his younger brother Cale, obviously coming over from the Crude in that trade, has provided another right-handed option for the Warriors on offense, and he can play defense as well. And now there's going to be a 30-second shot clock expiration, and the Warriors come back down the other way. Flett. It's going to battle for it in the far corner with Murray. And the ball's going to remain loose. Couple of hacks there. And here come the Outlaws. To the net. And that was Poulsen. Ran through the crease, and it's going to be Warrior possession with 10:57 to go. Middle frame. Warriors with the 5-1 lead. Carey has numbers here. Tried to hit Vodchuk on the crease. Ball comes back out, and here the Outlaws are going to go. As they go back and forth here, Cook goes to the net. Cook, and he scores! So the Outlaws is saying, hey, we're not dead yet. It's 5-2. So Cook with a nice shot to the short side up high in transition. And there was some type of, it looked like a high stick off the face-off, but I don't see anybody's hand up. Now Ellis gets thrown down. Ellis and Gordon lock up. And the Outlaws are going to grab possession here. So a little bit of chaos ensued there for a second. Molney comes back down the floor. Here's Dickin. Dickin looks, gets it to Josh Stewart. Back to Dickin. Dickin settles for a long shot, and he absolutely blasted it into the short side top corner. Maybe questionable shot selection, but not a questionable shot. Absolute laser. 6-2. If you're the Outlaws, it's a tough one to see go in your net. Pretty good defense. You've got a guy winding up from way out, but unfortunately, the shot overcame maybe the poor shot selection. The Warriors find themselves back up 4. Here's Ellis in transition. Ellis drops it down to the crease. And it's pulled back out by Tompkins. He shoots up top. That shot stopped. Now, an Outlaw is on the ground. The referees get in between the players here. And they're going to discuss things here. So, once again, it was earlier today the Mountain View Mavericks escaping Brentwood Arena and beating the Calgary Chill by a score of 8-7. They win that series 2-0. They'll be the Central Division representative. They still have to play the Silvertips in the Central Final, but both teams get in because the Silvertips are the hosts. And now the South has been settled in terms of their final. It'll be the Shamrocks taking on the Mountaineers, who defeated the Marauders just now. That score going final. I believe it ended up 7-4, and it's the Mountaineers moving on to play the Shamrocks in a best-of-3 to determine who will represent the South. And then up north, we have the Warriors and Outlaws, as you see on your screen, currently going at it. The Warriors win would send them to the North Final to take on the Rebels. And in the East, you've got the Kings and the Blizzard set to do battle for that divisional crown, and the winner of that will join the other 4 representatives in Airdrie in about 2 weeks. Ball goes loose, and it's picked up by the Outlaws. 9:22 to go here. Second period. Here's Tompkins surveying. He tried to hit Maloney. Ball wasn't brought in. Maloney out of the corner. Skips around a defender and missed the net. Ball goes out near the benches, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Here are the Warriors. As the ball turned back over, and it's in the stick of Rogalski. Rogalski to the net. Sharp angle shot. And that got stopped. Not much of an angle there for Rogalski. Here goes Andrews down the floor. Andrews is going to go right to the net. Andrews scores. There were 3 Outlaws back, and he just sort of stepped in the middle of all 3 of them and shot it in the net. That's a tough one if you're on that Outlaw bench. It's the kind of goal that breaks your back. How was it? Pretty guy. So 8:35 to go here. The Warriors will extend their lead back up to 5, which has been their peak lead in this game. They had a 5-0 lead that was cut down to 5-2, and they extended back out to 5 here with a 7-2 lead. And up floor here goes Polson. Polson is going to be yard sailed, but the ball goes right to Schaff, and that's a good shoulder save by Pinch, who stuck with it just long enough to get his arm up on it. Ball goes loose into the middle of the floor, and there goes Brody Stashnik. Stashnik to Dewart. 3 Outlaws just sort of standing up high here. The Warriors slow to change. Seen a lot of that. Warriors offense taking their time to get on the floor here. And again, it's really freaking hot in this arena, and you wonder if that takes its toll on both of these teams. It has to. And as the ball goes back down the floor, looks like it maybe went in the bench, and it'll be Warrior ball. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Ball gets picked back up by Dickin. Nice flip pass to Dewart. That shot was nicely soaked by an Outlaw stick. Good defense there by the Outlaws, and here they go. Cook already with one in the game. He's got numbers. Polson, though, on the wrong side of the floor. Cook will take, and that's stopped by Pinch. Good selection there to take that shot as Polson has gone to the wrong side of the floor, and here comes the Warriors back down into the zone. Ball is thrown over to Muir. Muir gets it over to Redlick. Newark winds and fires. Stopped down low by McLeod. Ball goes loose. It's picked up by the Warriors. Muir winds and fires. That riser goes wide or high. And the ball is going to go back down, and it'll be over and back. I want to remind everybody about the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation, CROW LAX TV, and the RMLL Junior B Tier 1 Division are proud to be supporting the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation. In 2020, a beloved player of the game to many in the North Division, Chris Letendre, passed away by suicide, age 25, while battling mental health issues. The Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation was formed in 2021 to preserve his memory and call the lacrosse community to action in support of mental health in the game of lacrosse and beyond. Donations can be made by visiting our social media channels for a direct link at CROW LAX on Instagram and X. Dickin, low shot, stopped. Fodchuk out of the corner. Fodchuk's going to look back up high to Dickin. Dickin curls around a defender. Dickin engages another defender as he leaned into him, shot a low sub shot at the net. And that goes wide. I don't think it caught a piece of McLeod. So the Outlaws will come back up floor. 5:20 to go, second period. The Outlaws up 7-2. Grace winds. That goes wide. And the ball is going to come back over. Ball in the stick of Fodchuk. He steps back, and he gets it to Dewart. Dewart in the middle. Royer, and that gets stopped by McLeod. Ball goes up off an Outlaw stick. It'll be Warrior ball. And as I say that, it's going to be Osman that's sent to the box, and the Warrior power. We haven't seen hardly any penalties in this game. It's going to be a rare power play look here for the Warriors with 4:50 to go in the second. So it'll be Royer trying to skip down to the far crease. Gets the balls back with Dewart over to Carey to Fodchuk. Fodchuk winds, tried to hit the short side. Good stop there by McLeod. As the ball goes loose here. And the Warriors are going to get a reset. Here's Fodchuk. Royer. Dewart. Ball goes down low to Dickin. He comes up over to the shooter position. Now the ball skips over to Carey, back to Dickin, and that's a good stop by McLeod, who jumped over. And the Warriors get another reset here. Here's Fodchuk behind the back. As they play catch with it up top. Dewart to Fodchuk, back to Royer. He winds that. It looked like it hit the dome of McLeod. And the loose ball is grabbed by Royer. Skip pass, and Fodchuk fired that down to Dickin. That was too hot to handle. Dickin loses the stick in the corner. And the Outlaws come away with it. Shaft gets knocked and loses the ball. 13 seconds to go in the power play here for the Warriors. 3 minutes to go in the period. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. Hit the thumbs up, interact, and we will take you right through the playoffs, through the provincials, as we look to see who comes out of Alberta this year and off to the Founders Cup, the National Junior B Championship being held this year in Hamilton, Ontario. Looks like a little bit of a timeout on the floor here. But it looks like we're almost ready to get going again. Looks like this delay is going to continue a little bit here. He's on the floor wiping it up. Nobody's hurt. I'm wondering if they're saying that the floor, there's issues with the floor. Vay is on the floor in front of the Warrior bench. Head coach. As the officials walk by the bench and say something, they're looking at something along the boards here. So I wonder if perhaps there's something that's jutting out of the boards, or maybe a piece like a panel, some of the panel along the bottom of the boards is peeling off. I don't know. Oh, that's just me guessing. So from what I could tell, I think there's something wrong, like something's peeling off the boards, kind of like what I was saying a little earlier, right by the Warrior bench. So the referees are over there looking at it. Trying to repair it, I would imagine. While they do that, we'll step out and we'll be right back with you here as soon as the game resumes. We're watching Junior B Tier 1 action. Warriors and Outlaws, Game 2 of the North Division semifinal on CROW LAX TV. And we're ready to go here back from the Ken Nickel Arena. 2:40 to go, second period. Warriors still leading 7-2. And Rogalski's going to field this pass from McLeod and go up floor. He gets it into the corner to Maloney. Hildebrand. Tried to go into the middle of the Hobday. Ball got knocked down, goes into the corner, picked back up. Maloney tried to cut back door. Ball goes loose and it's picked up by Flett. Ball into the corner, Muir. Dickin. He hits Fodchuk, back up to Dickin. Seal set by Muir. Dewart swings it to Fodchuk, twister, and he scores. And McLeod did not pick the ball up out of his stick at all there. That very awkward twister motion fooled him. See Fodchuk do that a lot. That's one of his favorite moves, is the twister as he's getting pushed underneath. I apologize, Josh, if I'm giving out a little bit of a scouting report, but any team or coach should have picked up on that by now, and any goalie. But either way, the Warriors are going to take an 8-2 lead here with 1:38 to go here in the second period. Harris to the net, and that got stopped. Ball goes towards Royer, and the ball goes into the near boards. It's going to be taken back by Harris. Stewart up high. Josh Stewart up across the top, and that hits something. Ball bounds back over center. It's going to be outlaw ball. And here is Maloney with 50 seconds to go in the period. Maloney, bothered there by Andrews, steps back. Now he engages again. Grace up across the top, and that hit the bar. Nice shot there by Grace. And then Maloney went back to a quick stick, stop by pinch. Here is Tompkins. He's got it up high. Tompkins winds, fires, and that hits something and goes into the corner. Maloney. Grace almost caught it with one hand, and then he got hit high. That's going to be a penalty. See if it's a 2 or a 5. As the referees discuss here, 15 seconds to go in the second period. It's like they're asking for another white. They're still going to talk about it. Undecided on what the severity of the penalty is going to be. Still talking about it. Looks like 5 minutes will be the penalty. And now the Outlaws are going to have a coach removed from the bench. And here is Hildebrand. Maloney to the middle. That got soaked. And that's going to do it for the second period of play. The score will be the Edmonton Warriors 8 and the Beaumont Outlaws 2. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. You'll be notified each and every time a game goes live. All you got to do is hit subscribe. After 2 periods of play, it's the Edmonton Warriors 8 and the Beaumont Outlaws 2. We'll talk to you, and, well, it's possible we might talk to you before the start of the third. We might have a little bit of a mini interview going on. We'll see, but we'll see you in a little bit here from Ken Nickel Recreation Center. All right, so I'm here with I don't want to call him Healthy Scratch. He's banged up. Aiden Wilner-Bate of the South Edmonton Warriors. So Aiden, we got a couple of scores in from the around the out of town scoreboard. We got the Mavericks pulling out the sweep over the Chill 8-7, and also the Mountaineers also completed the sweep over the Marauders. Any thoughts on those couple of series?
They're both great teams. I didn't get the chance to play against the Chill. I got the chance against the Mavericks. The Mavericks are a solid squad for sure. We get to provincials, it's going to be a problem. They're a good team, got a lot of skill, and we're ready to go. Mountaineers and Marauders, or Mounties and Marauders, that's a surprise to me, to be honest. But I played the Marauders a couple times the past few years. They've always been a good game, and same with the Mounties. So I'm excited. Hopefully I get to play against them.
So with that theme, obviously you guys have been to the provincials the last 2 years. Given that you've been to the Founders the last 2 years, you obviously had to win, right? If you look at the field this year and how it's shaping up, if you guys were to get back there, do you think it's going to be a lot more difficult this time around in the provincials?
I think the league's only gotten better every time I've progressed, I guess, through my career. The Shamrocks continually get better. They're always good, always a tough game. All around, from every division, I've seen lots of improvements. I remember we played the Mavericks last year even, and they weren't up to par, I would say, but they're an awesome team now, and I'm excited to get back to provincials to see if we can play against the field, and it's always fun, playing the best of the best, and I don't know, I think we got a good chance, but.
So on that note, if you were able to get there and win, you'd be going to your third Founders in a row. So what would be the first thing you would tell the guys that are newer, rookies, younger players on your team on what they sort of need to do to prepare for that type of experience?
Well, I always say, like, tournaments, even provincials, it's a war of attrition. You got to keep yourself healthy. You got to be ready to go. A game a day for lacrosse is hard for anybody, let alone a game a day for a week straight, right? So I think being prepared, it's always fun on Instagram too. You're watching all these teams. Hamilton's got a great team this year, and yeah, just getting back there. It's the greatest experience. I can honestly say there's not a better experience than suiting up for your city or your region, I guess, at a national level. You can't describe it.
That's Aiden Wilner-Bate of the Edmonton Warriors. They lead after 2 periods of play here from the Ken Nickel Recreation Center. 8-2. We'll be right back on CROW LAX TV. Welcome back inside Ken Nickel Recreation Center for third period action. It is game 2 of the North Division semifinal. The Outlaws hosting the Warriors. The Warriors, the 1-0 series lead and an 8-2 game 2 lead as they look to try and sweep the Outlaws and move on to play the Rebels in the North Division final. As they continue to sort of try to wipe down the floor. Obviously, this weather doesn't help with that. Time of the year where these floors really sweat. But now we're ready to go. Third period action from the Ken Nickel Recreation Center. And the ball is going to be picked up off the draw by the Outlaws. And tossed back to Schaff. They have 4.5 to go on the major penalty. And they'll need to get at least 1 here. You can score up to 2 on a major. The player still serves the rest of the time before the team can sub back on. Or before the player can come out, but the team can sub back on. So you go back to 5-on-5 once if 2 goals are scored. But that's going to be back over. It'll be Warrior ball. As the clock's ticking here. Shouldn't be. Extra like 7 seconds went off, but now we'll resume play. Ball swings from Dickin to Fodchuk, back to Dickin. Dickin up high to Fodchuk. Off the half wall. Fodchuk is going to hold on to this. Warriors again shorthanded. Keep that in mind as Fodchuk shoots that. Stopped by McLeod. And it's going to be picked up by Rogalski. They're going to ask for another white. So Hobday is going to come out, swiffer the floor a little bit before we get back underway. Nice quick transition there. By Ben, and we'll get back underway here. As he go right back out onto the power play. Grace. Hildebrand. Grace skips it. Shaft back to Grace. Grace winds, fires, and that's stopped. Now, Wolney was standing behind Grace, and he knocked his stick away from the ball as it came back towards him, and here goes Stashnik. Stashnik getting hit there by Hildebrand. Stashnik pushed into the corner. Hildebrand all over him. And the Warriors will look to kill more time here. Ball up high, Josh Stewart. And he had to sail one in there with the shot clock expiring. Remind you, the 50-50 for CROW LAX will take place after the playoffs on Monday, July 29th. Take home of up to $10,000. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels for more information at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. Grace winds, fires off the arm on the short side of pinch. Ball is picked back up and thrown down. screaming and shrieking right now in this arena. It's kind of throwing me off here, but the ball does come back down in the Outlaws' favor here. Grace down to Shaft. Shaft steps out in front, given a lot of space down there. And it's Bob Day and looks like maybe Redlick go to the floor. It's going to be Warrior ball. There's 16:59 to go in the third and 1:44 to go on the Warrior major kill. Now a penalty is coming up to the Outlaws. Look like perhaps an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So we'll go 4-on-4 here. And then the Outlaws will have a brief 25-second power play. So he gave him a 10. So the manpower will remain 5-on-4. And Hobday will just serve 10 minutes in the box. Here's Royer. In front to Carey, and he got knocked down. The ball is into the stick of Rogolski, who will set the Outlaw power play back up as he hands it to Maloney. 1:15 to go in the Outlaw power play. Maloney, as that shot came in from the right side, goes wide into the box. Looks like the penalty box. Say it went off a Warrior, so it'll be Outlaw ball. With exactly a minute to go in the power play. Maloney, Grace, Turner tried to hit Hildebrand. And Flett had his stick knocked away. Ball goes all the way back down floor, or Shaft picks it up. He's knocked down by Wolny. Wolny's going to pick up the loose ball. He's surrounded by Outlaws. Ball goes loose. The Outlaws will pick it back up. But now it goes right into the stick of Flett, who works his way over the restraining line. And it looks like the Warriors are going to kill the entire major penalty and come out of it unscathed with only 10 seconds remaining in it. Here's Fodchuk. Fodchuk into the corner to Royer. Back to Fodchuk. Fodchuk up across the top, and that's stopped by McLeod. Here come the Outlaws up floor. Shaft. Far board, just going to get it to Tompkins. Tompkins looks, swings into the stick of Maloney, and he got kind of tangled up. And here go the Warriors. Cameron to the net, and that's stopped by McLeod. And the Warriors getting a few looks in transition again here. 14:45 to go, third period. Warriors up 6 here from the Ken Nickel Recreation Center. Hildebrand to the net, and that hit pipe wide open net, and Grace picked it up and missed it. And now the ball goes into the corner. Grace picks it up and gets it over to Shaft. Hildebrand. Hildebrand winds, fires, and that goes wide. Ball back out. Grace up across the top. And he one-hands that on net, and Pinch smothers that. Here come the Warriors back up floor. Cameron to Carey. He's going to carry it. No pun intended all the way. Okay, sorry, maybe a pun intended there. To Fodchuk, and Fodchuk with another one of his twisters. Carey back with the loose ball. Gets it up to Redlick. Dickin is going to swim. Dickin back out across the top. Couldn't get much on that. Good defense there by Cook, who's been the Outlaws' best defender in this one. As that shot gets stopped by McLeod. As the ball is held up high. Grace shoots that into the midsection of pinch, and it looks like a too many men call. It's going to come up here against the Warriors. So with 13-11 to go, the Outlaws will go right back to the power play after the Warriors just killed off a 5-minute high sticking call. Maloney not out for this power play. It'll be Grace going to the top, and Turner and Murray, a couple of 50-years, are going to come out on this power play look.
The Warriors
Murray had that knocked down. He picks it back up. Turner couldn't handle that. Grace picks it up off the floor. Tompkins back up to Grace. Grace winds and fires and stopped by Pinch. And here goes Lachlan Gordon all the way down the floor. And he steps back and gets it to Flett. Flett chopped there by Tompkins, who gets it to Royer. Royer, heavy hacks there. And the ball with Carey into the corner. Carey got knocked down. He shoveled one out in front of the net. That'll be Outlaw ball. 12-12 to go, third period. And what's been a pretty lethargic third period so far. Hildebrand, Grace. Schaff tried to quick stick it. The ball wasn't in his stick, though, and here goes Pickering. Pickering showing some good speed here. Pickering all the way down the floor. Pickering, and that hit, I think, some post, even though he was on the wrong side of the floor. And Josh Vodchuk is going to pick that up. Vodchuk up high. He's got two Outlaw defenders on him. Gets it to Dickin. Dickin up high. He's going to go down to the near corner with it, where he's going to take some contact. He gets a shot on net. It's turned away by McLeod. And that's going to kill off another one for the Warriors. Ball in the stick of Hildebrand. Hildebrand is going to get stripped as he tried to split through two Warriors. That's going to draw an interference call in the Outlaws' favor. Walker. Grace. Grace, a little bit of a helicopter roll. And shot that from way out. And here go the Warriors. Flett up the floor to Redlick, who hits Dewart off the bench. Dewart, that's a good stop by McLeod. I'm not sure if that got a piece of the post either, or as well. But either way, it stayed out. Redlick, left side. Ball goes into the corner as he was checked. Royer gets the ball back and gets it up high to Carey, who in turn got it to Dickin. Dickin gonna play some one-on-one lacrosse here. Gets it to Dewart. Tried to feed it out to Carey, who was standing in front of the net, but the pass was in behind him. Now, Redlick was pushing and shoving with McLeod. You don't see that very often. The Outlaws come back down floor. 9:45 to go in what could be the final minutes of the Outlaws season. Maloney picks it up, gets it into the corner. That shot taken and stopped by Pinch. And here the Warriors go. Cameron is bothered there by Schaff, but he was able to fight through it. He'll stop up and get the ball to Fodchuk. Fodchuk swings it to Dickin. Dickin, drag move. As he lost it, and good defense there by the Outlaws is going to turn it over. Here's Weatherby. And there's been a lot of hacking in this game. They get that one. Weatherby did a good job of letting them know. Definitely a penalty, but there's been a lot of hacking in this game. For whatever reason, it's gone uncalled. But they get that one, and the Outlaws will go back to the power play. So 8:50 to go in the third period here. The Outlaws back on the man advantage. Grace. Maloney back up top to Grace. Maloney, Grace skips it. That got knocked down by a stick. Gordon chases it out. Ball with Maloney. Maloney, little underhand shot, stopped. And the ball goes loose out in front of that Hildebrand, and he tried to dunk it up over top of Pinch. That got turned away. There's Flett. Gets it to Wolney, and he's got a man off the bench. Wolney fires that at the feet of Dewar. As Wolney goes and gets the loose ball. Wolney is going to be pinned by a couple of Outlaws. The Warriors try to kill the rest of this 30. And they'll dump it in behind the net. And that's going to be a media timeout, goalie water. And with 7:48 to go, we'll pause here and be right back on CROW LAX TV with the conclusion of this one. So we'll restart here with Grace bringing it up and 57's left on the power play. Grace is going to have that thrown behind him, and it's going to be over and back. But scratch that. Menon is going to go pick it up. Menon in, and McLeod shrugs that off. And then Menon picked the ball back up. They said he stepped in the crease. Maybe he picked the ball up out of the crease. Either way, it'll be outlaw ball. They have 30 seconds left to work with here on the power play. Tompkins threw that at the feet of Turner. But the Outlaws grab it back. Maloney, Grace steps. And it's a good low save by Pinch. Harris is going to run up the floor. And Harris sees some daylight to the net. Harris, nice fake, and he scores to make it 9-2. And the big man showing some patience and some hands there. And it's got McLeod to really jump. To take a 7-goal lead here with 7 minutes to go. Ball's going to go to the far boards off the draw. It's going to be popped up. And into the single Weatherby. And that's a nice save by Pinch as he robbed Polson. showing some athleticism there as the veteran netminder pinch late in this one. Walker into the corner. Gets it to Weatherby. Weatherby up top to Hildebrand. Hildebrand. It's going to go right to the middle. Hildebrand, and he missed the net. Did a good job of getting access up over top of the defender. Just unable to hit the net. It's a guy. I said it in game 1, and I'll say it again. He's had a nice season for the Outlaws. He's really stepped up on their right side for them. Dickin gets the ball to Dewart. Dewart to Fodchuk. Fodchuk rips that. Stopped by McLeod. The Warriors will get a reset. Fodchuk to Josh Dewart to Dickin. Dickin, and that was a nice soak by Osman. As Sutherland pulls it around a defender, gets it out to Grace. He tried to behind the back. That was behind Maloney, and now there's another delayed call coming up. Warriors, a little bit of a string of penalties here. Are going to go back to the box for a legal substitution. So Maloney will start it back up. Outlaws with their fourth consecutive power play. They had the major and then a couple of minors, and I believe this is the fourth power play in a row for the guys in blue as the ball is sent to the boards, and Grace will go recollect that. Grace, Hildebrand, Turner. Turner rips that. It'd be nice to see him get one before his junior career is done. He, Murray, and Hobday, all lefties for the Outlaws, will graduate at year's end. That ball gets shot off of a Warrior body and up and out of play. Hildebrand to Maloney. Explosion up top of the box. Grace rips that. Turner, and he is turned away on the rebound. Ball goes in behind the net. Turner chased there. Hit hard. He gets it back up to Grace, to Maloney. That's a bad pass. And the shot will come in from Grace. Loose ball here. Extended possession for the Outlaws power play. Tompkins. Hildebrand. Tompkins. Back to Grace. Hildebrand, and that's stopped by a pitch. Long lead pass to Dewart. Dewart's going to take Tompkins to the net. He puts his shoulder into him. Dewart, and he just missed that far pipe. And the Outlaws will have about 30 seconds remaining in their power play. 3:55 to go. Warriors leading 9-2. Hildebrand. Grace back to Hildebrand. Hildebrand fires that wide. Ball back up high. Grace. Shot clock winding down, and that's stopped by pinch. 5 seconds left on the kill for the Warriors. Ball goes high, and the loose ball is going to be picked up by Menon. Menon is going to run for a little bit of a break here. Menon. Rebound comes back out to Cameron. And he's gonna pull out. Now he is gonna pull out. For a second, he turned back towards the net, and he hands it off to Carey. 3 minutes to go, third period. The Warriors look like they're gonna take this North Division semifinal 2 games straight. As the ball goes loose, and Dewart picks it up off the ground and shoots it low on McLeod. That's stopped. McLeod grabs this and headmans it up the floor. Schaff. Hobday out of that box after that 10-minute misconduct. He, like I said, one of those three players along with Turner and Murray that are graduating off of the left side. Dickin. Here's Fodchuk. He's going to wait. Redlick right into traffic. Redlick somehow gets in front of the net. Bounced off of two defenders. It's turned away, and it'll be outlaw ball. Hildebrand out of the corner. Hildebrand and tried to stuff that in. As the Warriors are going to come out and head into the offensive zone. Menon gets it to Luke Royer. Stewart, as a Warrior got sent to the floor, it looked like Carey out in front. It's going to be a penalty. With 1:27 to go, Warriors will go to the power play. The Warriors definitely are not going to have any sort of urgency on this power, as the clock is going to dip close to a minute remaining here. I thought maybe they wouldn't shoot, but maybe they are going to run something here. Seal, and they tried to skip it over to Carey. Ball isn't connected on, and here comes Weatherby. Here comes Weatherby down into the offensive zone. Weatherby, and that went wide and back into the Warrior bench. It'll be Warrior ball. The call doesn't really matter at this point, but I really do not think that that went off a Warrior. It's going to be outlaw ball. As the ball bounces in behind the crease of the Warriors, and they will just sort of leisurely come back out with 30 seconds to go. Now there definitely will not be a shot, I wouldn't think, coming from the Warriors. As they're going to walk this one out, and they will advance to take on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. And those two teams will meet for the third time, or the third year in a row. The Warriors winning each of the last two seasons. Last year it went all three games before they were victorious. And that's going to do it from the Ken Nickel Recreation Center with the final score. The Edmonton Warriors 9, the Beaumont Outlaws 2. The Warriors sweep the North Division semifinal 2-0, and will take on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels beginning midweek. I believe that should start Thursday, but we don't have an official schedule yet, so we'll hold off on that. But once again, final score from the Ken Nickel Recreation Center. The Edmonton Warriors 9, the Beaumont Outlaws 2. We want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, and we'll see you soon for Warriors Rebels coming up to decide the North. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a good night.